I've shared the PPT. Hope it is visible. Is PPT visible to everyone? Please reply.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we are going to do with social change. We all are aware that change is an important fact of our social life. We need some sort of change in our life. In the same way, in the society also, there is a change which is present in each and every sector of the society. First, we will be seeing what is change, and then we will be seeing what do we mean by social change. Social change is omnipotent phenomena. It is everywhere. That is, social change is universal. Wherever we go, we find social change. Change is the law of nature, and society is part of nature. The word change denotes a difference in anything observed over some period of time. So whatever the change in, see, if you take a human being, there's a change in his behavior, his attitude. According to the age factors, if we see, the person will be aging, or if we see different phenomena, which whatever is there in the society keeps on changing. From the ancient society to the primitive to the modern society, we can see that there are a number of changes which have taken place in this society. Recently we have seen that artificial intelligence have come into existence, and there's a lots of change which took place in the software sector. So change can be in any part of the society, but we can see the change all over the society because of that change. So change is the law of nature, and society is part of a nature. We know that society is part of a nature. Change is inevitable. Change will be there in the society. The word change denotes difference in anything observed over a some period of time. In an individual also, we can see that definitely some sort of changes we observe in an individual. In the society also, we see that some sort of changes will be there. Maybe after few years, we can see that all petrol vehicles will be shifted with the electrical vehicles, or most of our lanes will be covered with this మెట్రో రైల్స్ వల్ల కూడా మన రోడ్ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ఏదైతే ఉందో అదంతా చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. What else can we see? There are different changes which are taking place in the society in day to day. Social change, therefore, would mean observable differences in any social phenomena over any period of time. Whatever the changes takes place in the society over a period of time is called as a social change. Here are few definitions which are given by few sociologists. Leonberg says that social change refers to any modification in established pattern of interhuman relationships and standard of conduct. Interhuman relationships, we can see that the relationships between the people also changes. For example, interhuman relationships, what type of relationships can we give as an example of change? Any one of you? interhuman relationships. See, initially the people used to mostly, when there was no uh, telephones, the communication was direct communication, but now we can see that we have many indirect form of communications are present all over the world. Within seconds we will come to know what is happening in any part, from any part of the world. We will get some news or the other news, whatever the uh, changes are taking place or whatever is going on. Not even the change, but whatever the information we need, we will be getting according to that standard of conduct. So human behavior will be changing. Hurton and Hunt says that social change is meant change in social structure or function of societal forms. If you take education sector, there will be a change in due course of time. What type of change can we see in education sector in due course of time if it is being implemented? Any one of you?
Digital education.
Digital education, yes, it is already been implemented and it is running. Right, in most of the schools we can see that the children are being taught through a digital education, digital mode. See, నేషనల్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పాలసీ గురించి మీరు అందరు వినే ఉంటారు. Yes, there will be change in the education sector. Like instead of 10th standard, children will be writing their exams in 11th standard. ఇంకా ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అవ్వలేదు, కానీ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అవ్వచ్చు అని గవర్నమెంట్ చెప్తూ ఉంది. We don't know, maybe it take 1 or 2 years to get that, to get that can be started implementing in our country. Yes, are you aware of this? Yes, no. So
Yes,
upper
ma'am.
social, yes, then the structure of the education will changing, right? Structure and function. See, structure is the outer structure. Now just now we have discussed regarding digital education. The structure of, if you take the infrastructure of education, initially it was pen and book, but now we can see that the students are carrying tab or laptop with them to the classrooms. So the structure, outer structure of the classroom are, we can see that projectors are being placed, and the functioning of the classroom, the different functions whatever is there, it is functioning through the different modes of uh, what do you say, different modes of digital forms in this sector. See, social change meant to change in the social structure. Structure ante enti, outer structure. For example, if there is a building, it is called as a structure. Then social structure is when the people are involved into that sector is called as a social structure. Functioning of that is when the students come to the school, when the faculty come to the school, when everything is properly functioning inside the school is called as functional properties. Structure is outer one, whereas function is the intra or infrastructure. Both the things have changed. Outer structure, initially it was kacha houses, but now we can see that now we have pakka houses where we have a good structure, or the buildings are built with a concretes and all these things. And the functioning of the schools also has a curriculum. According to the curriculum, it will be taking place. I have given you an example of education sector. In the same way, if you see any structure, there will be some or the other form of developments will be taking place. Political sector, There are changes which is existing. Economic sector, if you see in the economic sector, now the functioning of the economic sector has changed. In which way we can say that the functioning of economic sector has been changed?
There also net banking,
Yes, there
yeah,
also we
the
can see.
digital rupee, and
Yes,
ATM machines. Many things are coming up
yes, cashless
instead of,
transactions
yeah,
came into
cashless,
existence.
instead of
Cash,
taking out
without
money.
cash, we step. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Without cash, when we step out of the house, there is no problem nowadays. If we have a phone in our hands, we can even withdraw money, or we can pay the wo- we can buy anything whatever we want. So structure and functioning, if we have taken the example of economy as the structure, the functioning of that economy has changed. So I hope you have understood the definition of Lundberg. Sorry, Horton and Hunt. McKeever and Page says that change in social relationship, that is, changing ways in even human beings relates themselves to one another, right? In the change in social relationships, that is, way changing the ways of even human beings related to themselves to one another. Nowadays, we can see that there are n number of changes which are taking place in the social relationships. Initially, we can see that family members were given more importance, but now we can see that most of them give more importance to their friends or other people in the social relationship. So there is a materialistic social relationships are existing. It is a more simplified form, where initially people used to give more importance to the relationships which are the family relationships, whereas now we can see that materialistic relationships came into existence. Majumdar says that modification in social technology, relationships, pattern, and institutions. You all are more aware of this technology. Because of this technology, also, we can see that there are different sorts of relationships which have existed. Facebook friends ఉంటారు, Instagram friends ఉంటారు. They are unknown to each other, but still they do exist. So modifications in the social technology, relationships, pattern, and institutions, different things via these platforms, through social media platforms, we can see that the development is being taken place in different sectors. This change in the different sectors. Characteristics of social change. Social change takes place everywhere, and it is a continuous process. As we have discussed in the definitions, as we have discussed in the definitions, that social change takes place everywhere. That can be in tribal area, rural area, urban area, or mega cities or metro cities. Wherever we see, change will be there. It means that social change is not confined to a particular society or group. It is not confined to any particular society or group. It occurs in every society. Sociologically speaking, an unchangeable society is considered to be a dead society, right? Even we can see that if there is no change, if we are working in a routine manner, even we feel that we need some sort of change in our life. In the same way, society also changes in every aspects of its functioning. Social changes are neither stopped nor the societies are kept in the museum to save them from the change, right? Society is not a museum which can be placed in a uh, is not an item to place in a museum, right? is where we can see that society keeps on changing. It is an ongoing process without any break. Social change is temporal. Sometimes some social changes may bring about immediate results, while some others may take years to produce the result. Similarly, some social changes spread rapidly and also disappear rapidly. What are those temporal social changes? Is we have movements, we have different movements, feministic movements, or you have racist movements. We have different movements which takes place for some cause, and it may end immediately, but we find that results after few days. The style, that is our dressing style, or that can be uh, anything. Fashions are examples of this type. So if you see the style nowadays, we can see that um, many houses, right, whether it is apartments or villas, we see that it is fully furnished. Different styles of furnishing is present in uh, their houses, right? So social change, which is temporal. Degree or rate of change is not uniform. Though the social change is an ever present phenomena, its degree or rate, or what we call the speed, is not uniform. It varies from society to society, even in the same society from time to time. For example, if you take in the rural areas or in the tribal areas, whatever the changes are taking place in the society, they will not accept the change as quickly as we accept it in the urban areas. What example can we give here?
Their panchayats, ma'am, their own panchayats. Still, some panchayats are existing in Rajasthan like that. They have their own sarpanch and panchayats. They will
Caste
follow their
panchayats are existing, yes.
they will
Even
follow their
even
own rules.
yes.
పెద్దలు అంటారు గ్రామ పెద్దలు. They will
No,
follow
no, no.
them only.
Yes. They have
They
caste
won't
panchayats
allow.
and they have their panchayats
Yeah, they won't allow police to interfere in their matters.
interfere in their matters. Yes. So change will be there, but there is a slow change will be there in few areas. So it varies from society to society. The tribal areas, uh, in movies also we can see that they doesn't allow anyone to come into their areas, right? So like this, the change is not uniform. It varies from one place to another place. Social change may be planned or unplanned plans. Programs and projects are made effective to bring change in the society. This is called planned changes. We can give an example for this is 5-year plan. In this PPT I have given you as 5-year plans are there. Accordingly, the government has made few plans and our society has made changes according to these 5-year plans. As it is continuously and deliberately made, there is every possibility to have the control on the speed and direction of the change. For example, the 5-year plans made by the government. So it is a planned one. Now, for example, in our Hyderabad, if we see metro lanes are being built. First, ఏమంటారు, first round they have built. Now in the second round, they are about to build from some few other places. నాకు గుర్తు రావట్లేదు ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడ అన్నది, కానీ మెట్రో వాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ ఇంకా సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నారు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అ చేంజ్. Now we can see some sort of flyovers are also there to avoid the traffic, heavy traffic in few areas. We can see that there are ఫ్యూ ఫ్లైఓవర్స్ ఆర్ ఔటర్ రింగ్ రోడ్స్ ఉంటాయి మనకి. ఇవన్నీ ఏంటి అంటే టు దెర్ ఇస్ అ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ద సొసైటీ. దీస్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ అ ప్లాన్డ్ చేంజెస్ విచ్ ఆర్ బీన్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్డ్ బై ద గవర్నమెంట్. ఐటీ సెక్టర్ బిల్డ్ చేయడము, ఇవన్నీ ఒక ప్లాన్ ద్వారా చేసేదాన్ని ప్లాన్డ్ సోషల్ చేంజ్ అంటాం. దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ అన్ప్లాన్డ్ సోషల్ చేంజ్? Unplanned social changes are spontaneous, accidental, or the product of sudden decisions. Usually the changes results from natural calamities. Natural calamities చెప్పిరావు. Like on the other day we have seen that there was an earthquake in Delhi, right? So like this we see that if there is a massive earthquakes, then the property of that society will get destructed. Natural calamities like floods, drought, famines, volcanic eruptions, etc., are the instances of unplanned changes. Here, in this unplanned change, there is no control on the degree and direction of social change. Right? When there is a tsunami or floods, there is nothing can stop that. It can destroy everything surrounding to that places. So it is an unplanned destruction.
Recently, Uttarakashi tunnel collapse also, no, ma'am?
Uttara? Uttarakhand.
Uttarakashi tunnel.
Yes.
Uttarakashi tunnel collapsing. 41 workers are inside.
Okay.
Now
I
rescue
didn't.
operations are going on.
Uttarakhand.
Uttarakanshi.
I don't know. I
Uttarakanshi.
didn't see this news.
Workers are there inside 41. Food is supplying, they are supplying food to them. Trying to rescue them, not yet
Okay.
rescued.
Okay. Still the news is going on. It has.
Yes, ma'am.
It took place recently.
Yes, yes.
Okay, they are
2 days
trying to
back.
rescue them. Okay, I didn't see.
Uh-huh.
I'm not aware of that. Okay, I'll see after your class.
That also comes under unplanned change, no?
Yeah, that also comes under your unplanned social change. Right? Then social change is multi-casual. A single factor may cause a particular change, but it always associates with a number of factors. The physical, biological, demographical, cultural, technological, and many other factors interact with the generate of change. This is due to mutual interdependence or social phenomena. See, one social change will lead to the development of multiple changes in this society. For example, assume that in a poor family, someone has become a doctor or an engineer or a civil servant or a politician. The family structure all over development will take place. Economically they will improve, socially they will improve, educationally already they have improved. In the same way here, what they are saying is when there is some change in the society, physical changes will happen, biological changes and demographical changes will take place. For this we can give the recent one like pandemic. In the pandemic we have seen that the persons biologically we have been affected, physically all over the world they have been affected with the COVID. Demographically we can see that many people have died because of this COVID, and many have some or the other issues. The people who had been affected with COVID, they have some or the other problems which are existing in their body. Culture is people started wearing masks, PP kits during COVID, and after COVID also we can see that people are still wearing the mask. Yes, technologically, if you see technologically, when the at the time of COVID, we were we were not in a position to take online classes, right? Means we were technologically we were illiterates, but because of pandemic, what happened was we were made to learn how to take online classes. So technologically we have improved how to take online classes, how to take classes through Google Meet or through Zoom, or we have different platforms through which we can take the classes. So social change can happen anywhere. ఒక్క ఫ్యాక్టర్కి ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతే అది మొత్తం అన్ని ఫ్యాక్టర్స్లో ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. బికాస్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇన్ ది సొసైటీ ఈజ్ మ్యూచువల్లీ ఇంటర్డిపెండెంట్ ఆన్ ఈచ్ అదర్. Social change creates chain reactions. Social change produces not a single reaction but a chain reaction, as all the parts of the society are interrelated and interdependent. Did you recollect anything by seeing these terms? Who said this? Everything, all the parts in the society are interdependent and interrelated to each other. Any sociologist, did you remember who said this?
Interrelated, interdependent, we remember that one. Who is the sociologist? No, ma'am.
Yes, what is that?
Remember this one, but who is that sociologist? I didn't remember.
You remember the statement, but you don't remember the sociologist's name. Yes? Anyone else?
Came in the first unit.
I'll give you a clue. He has explained about organic analogy. No?
August Comte.
And it's not the right answer. It's still anyone else? Oh, we have 12 members today. It's very good. It's Herbert Spencer. గుర్తొచ్చిందా? గుర్తు రాలేదా?
Yes, ma'am. Herbert Spencer.
What he said? On which, in which context did he use this? He has compared an organism with a society. As our body parts are interrelated and interdependent on each other, in the same way, society, social institutions are also interrelated and interdependent on each other. గుర్తుందా క్లాస్ అటెండ్ చేసిన వాళ్ళకి?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. For example, the economic independence of women has brought about changes not only in their status but also series of changes in home, family relations and marriages. Right? So when a woman gets educated and when she gets economically independent, we can see that the status of that family also improves. This we have given as an example of chain reaction. Prediction is uncertain. We can see some elements for prediction in social change, but the prediction we make is uncertain. It is because of three reasons. There is no inherent loss of social change. We don't know how the social change will take place. We may expect that the society may have will have a good economic development this year, but it may not be so, right? So we don't know in which form, because see, for example, take an example of 2020 itself. No one has expected that COVID will attack. So it is a social change. We don't have any inherent laws of social change which are existing in our society. The forces of social change may not remain on the scene for all the times to come. The process of social change does not remain uniform. As we have already discussed, the social change will not be the same always. It can vary from one society to another society. The change will be accepted, but the acceptance of the change in all the societies will not be equal. The process of social change does not remain uniform. Example is modification in basic diet, replacement of material and ideas in society, vehicle techniques in agriculture. We can see that many modern techniques have come into existence, but still in some areas we can see that the age old techniques of the agriculture are still being used in different areas. So the change, we cannot see the change will happen, but change will take place very gradually in some areas. Dimensions of social change. The major dimensions for analysis of social changes identified are structural dimensions, changes in roles, emergence of new roles, change in class, caste, change in social institutions, shift in location of roles. The structural dimensions, we can see that there are n number of changes which took place in the structure of the society. There will be a changes in the role. See, a person who has been appointed as a what do you say, as a as an employee of that company, his role is to perform the role whatever has been assigned to him, but in due course of time, depending on his skills, depending on his ability, he can get promotions and he can even become the CEO of that company, right? So like this we can see that changes in the roles, the role of an employee can, he can also become employer of some of the company, or he can become a CEO of the company, or we can see that there are m number of changes which are existing in this structure of the society. Change in the class. Initially we only used to have the change, we used to in India mostly we had a caste system, but slowly we have seen that the class system has come into existence. Now presently in urban centers, instead of seeing the caste, this they see the class, like how rich the person is, whether he's a rich, poor, or a middle class or upper middle class, all these things will come under our structural dimensions. Cultural dimensions through discoveries, inventions, new technology diffusions, and borrowing. That is, it involves integration of new elements into culture. Replacement of old one may be rejected, or some new elements and forms. Cultural dimensions. What new things we have invented into our lives? There are n number of new things which have been invented in our lifestyles. Like if you see, initially in each and every sector of life, now everything it is a digital form. Everything in the banking sector or in the industrial sector, or if you take in schools or everywhere, we can see that everywhere we have the uh, systems where all the data will be incorporated into that. Initially we never used to have these washing machines or dishwashers. Now dishwashers came into our India also, isn't it? Any other example which we can give? A good example. With the help of drones, people, farmer is able to sow the seeds. Cultural changes, diffusion. Yes, any other example which you want to give? Cultural changes. Okay, no one wants to speak. Interactional dimensions. Change in social relationships, which involves change of frequency of contact, change in social distance, change in directionality form. Interactional dimensions. Already we have discussed this. Like initially, it used to take some few days or 2 to 3 days to speak with the person who is living outside our country. But now, within seconds, we can speak with our uh, family members or with our friends or whomever with we want to speak who is living in abroad. Within seconds, we can message them, or we can make a video call, or we can call them. Right? Interaction dimension, social change in all the aspects we can change in these perspectives. Social through the different platforms of social media. Right? Here we have a example of a monkey. After this, we will stop here. I'll just tell you this story and I'll stop. See, here is a story which says how actually social change comes into our life. How social change takes place. This is an example of 100 monkey theory. This was written by Kin Keys. This was Japanese monkey. Its name was Maca fuscata. Has been observed in the wild over a period of 30 years. This was observed. This phenomena was observed for a 30 years. In 1952, in the island of Koshima, scientists were provided sweet potatoes. They actually dropped the sweet potatoes into dirty and unpleasant sand. These monkeys were seeing that the people were actually dropping these sweet potatoes into a dirty and unpleasant sand. 18th month old female named Imo solved the problem that by washing that in a nearby stream. In 1958 autumn, 99 monkeys were practicing the same thing. Later that morning, the 100th monkey joined, but this was not over. By that evening, almost everyone in the tribe was washing sweet potato before eating. Understood? Here it is clearly it has explained that sweet potatoes were thrown into mud, like there was some dirty sand, unpleasant sand was there. These things were uh, just dropped into that dirty water, but these monkeys were uh, not willing to eat them. But one of the monkey has took that sweet potato, washed it in a clean water, and started eating. When one monkey has started doing this, over 99 monkeys, and by the next day it was 100 monkeys which have started washing the sweet potatoes and started eating them. It did not stop here, but it has spread through the places nearby it. Later, the scientists observed the habit of washing sweet potatoes jumped over the seas. Colonies of monkeys on other islands began washing their sweet potatoes before eating. Lesson. What did we understand about this is When a certain critical number of achieves awareness, the new awareness may be communicated from mind to mind. Although the exact number may vary, this phenomenon means that when only a limited number of people know a new way, it means remain conscious property of these people. But there is a point at which, if only one more person turns into new awareness, the message is picked by almost everyone. Right? So, how the change takes place? Through an example of monkeys, they have said that this is how the change takes place in the society. In the society, also, we can see that we have seen different sorts of things which have emerged into our society. Initially, people object for that, but when few people start adopting to these changes, everyone else follows that. Not only they follow that, but also it will be spread to the other areas. So these are the this was the definition and characteristics of the social change. Right? We will be doing with the main factors of social change in the tomorrow's class, and we have few theories of social change. Any doubts? Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.